Hello, friends. Welcome back. We made it another week alive, hurling through space on this spinning rock that has burning lava at its core and yet is somehow teeming with life on the surface. It doesn't seem to want to stop even for your or my problems. Woo! We're here. Back another week. Congratulations. That's no small feat. I want to start off by expressing my gratitude, my graciousness for being here still when so many are not. I'm so grateful that I was blessed with another week of life to make mistakes, to learn from them, to love, to build, to destroy, to create, and all the other things that come along with the human experience. In a very dark, eerie sense, it's actually pretty wild to think about all the people who were here last Monday and are no longer here this Monday. Actually, according to my very scientific, specific calculations, it's more than 1 million people who are not here this Monday who were last Monday. Yet somehow you were not one of the chosen to go. You were chosen to stay. You may have even known one of them. You may have known multiple of them, in which case I'm extremely sorry for your loss, and I'm praying for you and hope I can be here for you in whatever facet I can. But somehow you are still here, you listening to this, watching this somewhere. So what are you going to do with that time? You've already outlasted at least somebody another week. What did you do at that time? Did you do your part in leaving a mark on our world? Did you make something? Did you fix something? Did you spend it sulking or depressed or angry or sad about something or anxious? You see, the longer that I live, the longer I am blessed and lucky to live, the more I realize what a colossal waste of time it is to spend so much of my time anxious or depressed. I think I've gotten to a place where I'm truly starting to understand that I have so much more control over my consciousness than I thought I did for years. And honestly, more than anything, I'm over it. I'm over it. That is not to say that I am indeed over it and past it and it's gone in a way never to return, but I mean that I'm over it. I'm done. I could care less at this point. I don't want it anymore. And I'm doing my best to do the work to get rid of it while being honest with myself and taking mental inventory and slotting my problems into the correct categories as they come and improving my relationship with myself and my relationship with my partner and with my friends and my family and with God, and working out as much as possible and maintaining a healthy diet, and also giving myself some time to enjoy the things I'm into, watch the Yankees as much as possible, and also remaining productive and getting shit done and when it needs to get done, and working towards my ultimate aspirations and dreams, and also catching up on my shows and keeping an eye on the news. And that's a lot of shit. No wonder why I'm so anxious. No wonder why I'm depressed. That's too much. It simply cannot be done. Or can it? See, these are the questions that I confront often. Like, damn, how is it even fucking possible to do all those things while remaining sane? But the thing is that it's totally possible. It's just a matter of nailing down your own time management method. I really think that's key. And that can take a long time, but it's extremely important and helpful when trying not to become too overwhelmed by all the things we have going on in our lives. For an anxious person, a depressed person, a person who maybe doesn't have the best mental health practices, looking at their life in all these tiny little aspects I just mentioned that are all super important and helpful to having a full and happy life can be so intimidating. As humans, we have this uncanny ability to make mountains out of molehills in our mind. And then those mountains become monsters. But really, we need to realize that both mountains and molehills are and will always be part of the landscape. And whether it's stepping over a molehill or climbing a mountain, both of them been done before and both can be done again. But the bottom line is living a full life is not a mountain. It's just a life. There is no need to take every little task in your day and lump them all together with the same importance level, thus making them into this insurmountable doomsday pile of shit that you have to handle. Something that really helps me with this is creating little checklists, to-do lists. I know it sounds super cheesy and obvious, but I think it's cheesy and obvious because it actually fucking works. And to me, being able to visually see your tasks down on a piece of paper and not be able to, and be able to allot specific time to them is so helpful in realizing how small each of them really is. They're all just little boop, check, boop, check, boop, check, all just little things on your list. Not to mention the feeling of accomplishment that I've talked about in the past that we get each time we check one of those boxes. It's so awesome and so powerful. then it helps us check yet another box, and then the next box, and then the next box. I'm squeaking here. This chair's touching something. We look at our lives in a grand scale far too often, when being happy is really about stringing together moments, moment to moment, not the big picture. When we die, people say they lived a good life. They don't say they had a lot of great little moments that added to be a good life. But while we're actually here, it is imperative that we do break things down into small parts. My mom always used to instill in me this quote. I always butcher it too, so I don't remember if this is the exact quote, but the principle is still there. If you take care of the nickels and dimes, the dollars will take care of themselves. Now, obviously, that's like financial help, which I need. But it could be applied to this subject as well. We need to take care of ourselves moment to moment first, and then the larger aspect of life will happen the way it happens. But if you take care of those little moments, before you know it, you're adding them together to equal a great and happy and fulfilled life. Nickels and dimes, dollars and cents. The nickels and dimes, those day-to-day purchases, right? Those, maybe I don't need to eat out again this week. Maybe I don't need to order Postmates for the 15th time this week. All while you're saving up to buy a new car or to buy a house. Obviously, that goal of saving up this amount of money to buy a new car or a new house seems lofty. It seems big. But if you take care of those little things along the way, it doesn't seem so big. It starts saving on its own. Same thing goes for your mental health. Those little issues that if we can compartmentalize them and not create them into some lofty investment, we just invest the time into the little things along the way, then the rest of the time take care of itself. So I say all this to say to you that the things I mentioned before are all still here. They're all still important to living a happy life, but don't add them all together and make it seem like unsurmountable, lofty goal. Take it piece by piece. It's much easier. Don't sign up for something that you can't handle. You can handle your life. But looking at it all, I'm trying to deal with 60, 70, 80, hopefully 100 years of stress all in one go. Just not possible. It's not good for your mental health. You got to take care of the things piece by piece by piece by piece. And I don't want anyone to think that watches this that like I have it all figured out, or that I'm trying to act or pretend that I have it all figured out, because I do not. I started this because I do not, and because I feel like speaking about these things and being open and bouncing ideas off of other people who deal with this kind of shit is what's helping me and what's helpful to other people. So when I say this whole not looking at life at a grand scale and looking at the moments, focusing on stringing together happy moments instead of just creating some big happy life, the reason why I do that, or I'm talking about that, is because that's something that I need to get better at, and that's something I continue to get better. I am improving at that. It's something I always preach to other people, maybe who come to me, my friends, family, loved ones, whatever. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. It's obvious. It makes sense, right? To focus on the little stuff, and the big stuff will take care of itself. But it is something that I struggle with too, because we all struggle with it. We all get caught up in the day-to-day grind, the day-to-day rat race that makes it seem more difficult than it actually is. Now, all those things I mentioned, physical activity, healthy diet, good relationships, faith, productivity, they all do matter in varying degrees. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. None of it will matter. None of this shit will matter if you don't have a strong basis of mental health. Our lives and our experiences are completely our own. No amount of empathy can really put someone in your shoes or vice versa to know what your universe looks like. Both misery and happiness comes from within. It all comes from inside. It all comes from your head, your heart, your soul, your being. Misery and happiness. The outside stimulus may provoke us to feel or think a certain way, but we have the control to choose how we react, always. If you're not first equipped with the correct tools to not be a passive reactor to your life, and instead be a proactive responder to your life, then you'll never, ever be truly happy. Misery and happiness both come from the same place. You ever think about that? All of it's going on in our brain. All of it's going on in our reality. Two completely opposite feelings. Famine and feast. Depression and ecstasy. It's all coming from within. The thing is that we often don't believe that. we often think that it's the outside circumstances that are making us feel that way. Now, they obviously contribute, but the truth is, whether you want to accept it or not, and I suggest you do, we are in control of our experiences. We are in control of our reactions to things that we may hate or may love. And controlling these reactions, being equipped with the proper equipment, the tools to control our reactions and not just react, but act. Take the re out of there. That's the only way that we'll ever be truly happy, because you can't control what's going on around you. You can only control what's coming out from you. So someone cuts you off in traffic, or someone says, fuck you, and obviously your first inclination is to be upset about that. The thing is that you're now letting them have control over you, rather than having control over your own actions. So all this talk about time management, checking your goals off the little list, and not adding small things into being big things, and just dealing with things as they come moment to moment, none of that matters if you continue to be a mental slave to the people and the things around you. To react to something somebody says, as I was just saying to you, is to be under their control. It is only by taking full control of our thoughts and emotions that we can avoid this life and live blissfully, and live in peace, live at peace. Something I need to tell myself, something I'm getting better at, continue to need to continue improving. I guess I'll tell the story. It's a funny story. It's funny. It is funny, but it's not good. Couple months ago, actually it was damn near a year ago, I was heading to pick up some sandwiches for the next day. We were going to the beach or something the next day. Something, I don't know, something, fucking Dodger game, something. So I was like, all right, word, I'll go pick up some sandwiches and stuff for like a picnic the next day, get it the night before, put them in the fridge. First of all, sandwich is always better a day after it's made. I don't know, I don't make the rules, but it's true. So I'm going to go to Jersey Mike's, get some sandwiches, whatever. It's late night. No one's in the store other than 3 people working and 1 guy. And who the fuck is eating Jersey Mike's at like 11? Like before close, you know. It's not really a sandwich time. I guess depends. But so I get there. I can tell the one other customer in the store is upset and angry and annoyed. But it's just 3 people working. At this point, all of their sandwiches they're making are like coming from online orders, Postmates, DoorDash, whatever your app of choice is, all that shit. But he was clearly being impatient and upset. And he's like, is that my fucking sandwich right there? And I'm immediately, as soon as I hear this, I'm like, oh God, here we go. Like, this is one of those viral videos you see online, right? And the guy's like, yeah, I'm just finishing up the other one. So he's making the sandwiches, whatever. Gives him the one sandwich, and the guy takes it. He's like, this is supposed to be a hot sandwich. And the guy's like, yeah, I know, sir. We're just very busy. We make the sandwiches as they come. You know what I mean? Like, as they come down our list of whatever, our system, we make them, we get them ready. And the guy's like, well, why would you make a hot sandwich before you made the cold sandwich? Now the sandwich is fucking cold. It's going to be disgusting. Now, I understand the guy's point. In retrospect, probably, yeah, it would make more sense to make the hot, fresh sandwich you're supposed to eat hot after the cold one. But is it that serious? Is it that serious to like be giving this guy who's getting off of work? He works at Jersey Mike's, man. He makes minimum wage, maybe a little better if he's like the manager or something. No disrespect to that occupation, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that serious. You're not saving lives. You're making sandwiches. So I can't help but start muttering under my breath, huge deal, big fucking deal, huge deal. And I'm literally saying this out loud. And so the guy says to him, or the worker, this small little guy, no judgment on him, but, you know, he means no harm. He's just fucking doing his job. He's like, you know, sir, we're just trying our best. We're understaffed. You know, he's like, yeah, that's the customer's like, yeah, that's the problem. Everyone's just trying their fucking best today, not using their heads. This is ridiculous. It's over a ham sandwich, my guy. It's a small little ham sandwich. He didn't even get a full sandwich, which now at this point I'm judging him. Why not get the full thing? He's crying over a tiny little sandwich. And I just couldn't, and I'm just boiling, getting so fucking mad and angry because this guy does not deserve that. This poor guy making sandwiches for this fat, lazy fuck, excuse me, again, mental health podcast, I know I shouldn't be disparaging to anyone else. This fucking guy is just trying to do his best, like he said, and that's just not good enough for this man in this moment. And I was fed up. I was annoyed. I wanted to stick up for that guy because I know he's at work. He can't tell the customer off. It's just not worth his time. Well, for some reason, I felt it was worth mine. So he gets his fucking ham sandwich, cold as it is, and he starts walking towards the door. And something deep within me just said, fuck it, say it. So I said, I hope you choke on that fucking sandwich. Now, if you know anything about me, I am not a confrontational person. I actually, to a detriment, avoid confrontation. But in this moment, something came over me to be like, no, I'm sticking up for the little guy. I had this like selfish, righteous moment in my head, like, yeah, you're the hero in this sub shop right now. Ridiculous. But in that moment, maybe at a place where I didn't have as solid base of mental health as I do right now, I said, fuck it. So I said, I hope you choke on that fucking sandwich. And the guy is about 3 feet out of the door at this point, and he turns around, and he comes back in the store, and he looks at the guy who was making his sandwich, and he goes, what did you just fucking say? Thinking that the guy who was making the sandwich was the one that said, I hope you choke on your fucking sandwich. Now, in my head, instantaneously, obviously, I'm deciphering all these little things in that moment. The fight or flight response is coming. And I'm laughing to myself in my head like, oh my God, this poor guy, he did not sign up for this tonight at his shift. Like, this guy actually thinks that an employee would say, I hope you choke on your fucking sandwich, which is hilarious. Like, wow, you really think the world's in that much of shambles that this guy would say that? No, it's me. It's my dumb ass, my fat ass also waiting for a Jersey Mike sandwich. So I had a split second where I could have decided to be like, oh, pretend I didn't say it and just like that meme of Homer Simpson or whoever, just like going back into the bushes, or own up to it. So I did the right thing. I owned up to it. This guy, I'm trying to stick up for this guy. I can't just let him take the brunt of my obnoxiousness. So I said, no, I said it. And he came up to me and goes, who the fuck do you think you are, huh? You hope I choke on my fucking sandwich? Are you fucking kidding me? And his eyes are, to be honest, he looked like he was on drugs. I think that was why the whole thing was happening anyway. His pupil was this microphone. Like, imagine that on both sides. If you're just listening, imagine just a big black hole for both of his eyes. And at this point, I'm honestly kind of nervous because I'm like, all right, where does this go from here? And at first, I tried to lie and say that's not what I said, and then I was like, no. I was like, yeah, I did. I was like, well, you were talking to this guy all wrong, like that Christopher Walken line from I think it's Joe Dirt, like, you're talking to my guy all wrong. I was literally saying that, like, you're talking to my guy all wrong. He's just fucking doing his job, making sandwiches. It's not that big of a deal. It's a sandwich, dude. I'm saying this to this guy, trying to give him a life lesson. This 50-year-old man, as if he's gonna receive what I just said after I told him I hope he chokes on his fucking sandwich. Obviously, it didn't go well, and he's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding? Who do you think you are? You don't know who I am. And so finally, I'm just like, all right, well, how much further is this going to go? And I'm a little nervous, whatever, so I just go, what? What are you going to do? Not like I'm challenging this guy to a fight. I don't want to do that. That's ridiculous when I'm going to get a fucking assault charge, beating up some 50-year-old man because of a sandwich that's not even mine. No, that's ridiculous. Obviously, I knew that was never going to happen. But my point being, what is next now? Man, what are we going to do? How are we going to de-escalate this situation? So that kind of just stopped him in his tracks because I think probably in the back of his head, he realized, I'm not going to fight this guy in a Jersey Mike's. So he just walks out. He's like, you're fucking lucky. We're kind of saying shit back and forth. Now, after he leaves, I go up to the thing, to the checkout, order my sandwich. Sandwich is delicious. I could go for a Jersey Mike's. So now, talking about all this, I could go for old submarine sandwich right now. Anyways, talking to the staff, and they are like basically giving me a round of applause, standing ovation. Not to like toot my own horn, but they certainly got a kick out of it and were happy that someone stuck up for them. Because now, while I didn't do it in the right way, and I regret the way I did it, I don't regret sticking up for these people who are just making sandwiches, just innocent little sandwich makers. And one guy was like, yeah, if it had gone any further, I was going to hop out from behind the counter, like, fuck this job. Which was very funny to me. But So in that moment, I felt good about what I had done because 2 reasons. One, I knew that guy wasn't going to enjoy that sandwich after all, which was hilarious. That made me laugh for the next several days. Like, there's no way he went home and was like, you know what, I'm just going to eat this sandwich and relax. No, every bite of it, he thought about how some random human being hoped he choked on his sandwich. Now, obviously, I didn't wish death upon the guy. I just didn't want to enjoy it. And I definitely got that out of this situation. Guaranteed he didn't enjoy that sandwich, which still to this day gives me pleasure. But now, leading all back to, not letting other people's words and actions dictate your reactions, and instead of reacting, acting. Now, while I did take a second to think and breathe in that moment and choose what I was going to do, I didn't do that in the right way. That was not right. Looking back, it's a funny story. It's like, I don't regret it in some ways, but that's not cool, man. I don't know this guy. I don't know his circumstances. I don't know his story. I don't know if he just had the hardest day of life possible. Now, is it fair for him to take it out on the guy making his sandwich? No, not at all. But now, maybe I could have actually, looking back on it, maybe I could have actually impacted this man's life in a positive way. Instead of hoping he chokes on something, I could have maybe tried to explain to him that, hey man, it's not that big of a deal. I understand. Maybe you're having a rough day, brother, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just a sandwich. You're going to get it all the same. Complain to the app or whatever you ordered it through. You're probably going to get a refund. You'll get a free sandwich out of the whole situation. You'll still get to eat this sandwich. Maybe it's room temperature. Maybe it's not the hot ham sandwich that you ordered, man, but it's going to be okay. Now, instead, I chose a more violent and more confrontational thing. And I said I chose because I did choose, but was it really my choice, or was it my initial reaction to be angry about what this man had just done? If that were to happen tomorrow, I would not have been angry. I would have been annoyed. I would have been upset. I would have probably still stuck up for the guys working there. But the way I handled it just was not correct. And in that moment, I let his actions towards someone, not even towards me, become the master of my mood. You don't want to let your mood be your master. And you do want to be the master of your own mood. And for some reason, I let this guy affect my sandwich getting experience. And now, in the place that I am, I don't think that I would have handled it the same way. I think that, again, to react to what somebody says to you is to be under their control. And it's only by taking full control of your thoughts and emotions that we can avoid this and be truly blissful and peaceful and happy. So again, I don't necessarily regret sticking up for the people. I do kind of regret telling him I hope he chokes on his sandwich. That was mean. And it's just an example that I have seen in my life of letting someone else, a random person, be enslaved to their emotions and moods and negativity rather than react in a positive way and evoke positivity back into the world. And it's kind of shitty that it happened that way. Again, it's a funny story. I told it to my sister Caitlin, and she hysterically laughed. If you don't know me that well, maybe it's not that funny of a story, but if you know me, it's like, what? You did that? So it's kind of funny. But again, I think I would have handled it much differently now, and wish I had a bit. And I wonder how that guy's doing. I wonder if he's still on drugs and his eyes are still black holes, or if maybe he took that experience and changed. But also, he should have, in that moment, been the master of his own domain and not let someone's action of making his sandwich in the wrong order affect him to that level. And now I'm realizing the hero of the story of all of this was not me. It wasn't the guy saying, I hope you choke on that fucking sandwich, standing up for the employees. It was the guy making the sandwich. I just realized he's the hero. Because he could have let this guy affect him. He was clearly annoyed, but he was being very calm and very respectful. And he could have been the one to say something or do something that he would have regretted. But instead, he was the master of his own domain, the master of his own consciousness and emotion, and didn't let this guy get to him as much as he tried. The guy was clearly trying to get a rise out of this employee, and he didn't let it happen. And so now it's funny, looking back on the story, it's like, I should have reacted more like that guy. Because he didn't let it affect him. He was thankful that someone said something to the guy because, again, I'm not saying don't stick up for people and just be a passive observer of everything going around you. You do need to control your action, not reaction, your action to things that happen in front of you. But I think the way that guy handled it was a more sound, peaceful, kind of mental health positive way of handling things, which is funny because I never thought about it that way until rehashing this story to you right now. But yeah, so until we are equipped with the tools to not passively react to everything, but instead act on what is coming in, we'll never be truly happy. And next week I'm going to get more into that because I'm getting that directly from Sadhguru, who you may have seen. He's this old Indian guru who's fucking brilliant, and just the way he lives his life and the way he just explains being blissful and peaceful has helped me immensely in shaping my thought process and the ways that I've been combating my problems. So next week I'm going to dive deeper into some of the things he said that have helped me and may help you, along with some other pieces of literature or anything else that has been helping me on my road to mental health recovery. Because there's a lot. There's some books that I've been reading, and just not like self-help books, but just things in general that have been helping me. So a little update on my mental health. It's been very good. Very good. It's been great. Almost to the point where before I sat down and kind of wrote out what I was going to discuss today, that I kind of was lost. I kind of didn't know where to go with it because things are going so well, which is great, but it shouldn't just be when I'm not feeling great that I have stuff to talk about. So I'm trying to work on that. But yeah, this past week was fantastic. Again, relating back to previous weeks, I have now unlocked the key for me, and that is to stay productive and to stay moving. Not in a sense of ignoring what's going on around me, but in the sense that is something that truly makes me happy, is being productive and creating. So all week I was rehearsing. Last week, like I said, I had the photo shoot for the cover for the EP, and then all week I was rehearsing for this live session video that I finally shot on Saturday. And just night after night after night, the routine of, okay, get home, work out, eat a little something, get in the studio, rehearse, go to bed at a reasonable time, have some tea, wake up, have my coffee, go about my day, get home, work out, rehearse. And just the routine really, really helped me. I think we have like almost demonized, especially as a creative person, I hate that fucking word. It's so cheesy. But as someone who maybe is specifically and purposely trying to avoid living a quote-unquote normal life in the real world, that the aspect of a routine has been demonized, but it should not be that way. You just need to have your routine. It doesn't need to be get up, have a shitty cup of coffee, drive in an hour and a half of traffic to a shitty office job you hate. That is the side of routine that we are constantly fed, that it's like, this is horrible. Who would want to do that? I'm talking about your routine. And at least my routine this week was really working for me, man. It was really helpful. I felt productive. I didn't feel anxious about, like, I'm not doing enough. No, I was doing enough. I was tired. And I was still pushing myself to get done what I needed to get done. So it was great. So that, in that sense, this past week of my mental health was fantastic. Medication-wise, still in the 50, and it's going fine. It really is. I'm still feeling a little bit of the electrical whooshes throughout the body every few hours, or just certain times, maybe if I'm not hydrated enough, or when I just wake up, or when I'm getting tired. Sometimes I can feel them still, but it's not like how it's been in the past when I was forced to not take the medication at all for a few days. So that's good. I think that's just kind of a sign of the process of my body getting used to less and less, which is good. So honestly, this update this week of my mental health it's been good, man. It's been good. I think, again, the routine also of like doing this every week has been so helpful. So I implore you to, at least once a week, man, sit down, write out your thoughts about your struggles, your triumphs, whatever it may be. Share your thoughts with someone. It could be me. It could be someone close to you that you feel comfortable talking to. It could be a therapist, which I highly, highly recommend and encourage, because those people can actually give you the tools, the skills to work on your negative habits that are maybe impacting your mental health in a poor way. But I'm telling you, man, just having this hour or so, a little less a week, to sit down and write out my thoughts and then speak them into the world and then reflect on them has been so helpful. So that routine has been amazing for me. Life has been good. Life has been real good. And it's been good on purpose. Like I said last week, I'm trying to take the control I can over the things I can control, and with the best of my abilities, make them as positive as possible for me and the people around me. So that's been great. Like I said, Saturday, shot the live session. That was one of the last things to do before this EP gets released. Thank God. The shoot was fantastic. Shout out to Joel. He did a great job. Shout out to Jay. She was so helpful. And shout out to the Lip Studios. That's where we shot it. Awesome place in almost near Santee Alley, honestly, in LA. The area is not great, but the space was fucking phenomenal. So that was awesome. And the guy Thomas there was super helpful, helping us in any way he could. This poor guy had to get up and down to turn off the air conditioning every 2 seconds. It was 1,000 degrees out that day. It was nice and cool in the studio, but having the air whooshing was obviously couldn't happen because the mic picks it up. So every time we got done with the take, he'd get up, walk across the room, turn the AC on, walk across the room to sit down to get out of the shot. Boom. When we were about to get out of the shoot again, boom, get up, walk across the room, turn it off. You know what I mean? Back and forth. So he got a little workout in that day, but I appreciate him. Appreciate all the help I got on everything for the shoot. So that's exciting because it'll be done very soon, and that'll be the first piece of Frankie IV that ever enters the world, other than Mental Health Mondaze. But musically, that'll be the first thing, and that's exciting. I'm really excited for that. So that's been great. Everything's been great, man. I still have my day-to-day struggles, of course, little moments where maybe I forget to reel it all back in, and that everything is overall really good, and I need to be grateful and keep it all in perspective. Of course, I have those little moments where that slips, but I'm getting better and better at making it more constant, and that's all I can ask for. It's never going to be 100% perfect, so if I could be, I'd take 51-49. 51% of the time, great. 49% of the time, something else other than great. But it's been a little better than that, and I'm really, really grateful for that. And I think talking to you good folks has been helping. So thank you again for listening. If you're listening every week, I really appreciate it. Share with your friends. Share with other people you think this may help. Because at the end of the day, that's all I'm trying to do is help myself and help others, and in turn help each other. So again, thank you so much for all the support. Like I said, the first anything from me alone is coming out very soon, and then the EP following it, so keep your eyes open for that. Love for you to listen and share that as well. Like, subscribe, comment under the video. For real, please do. Building a YouTube channel from scratch, and it sucks because I have years of April 94 shit, and we had a pretty good thing going, and now it's all from zero. So it's exciting, but it's a lot, so please help in that way if you can. And just keep doing you. Keep doing you. Keep taking care of yourself as much as you can, because that has to come first before everything else. Otherwise, you're fucked. Not to scare you, but it's the number one thing. You got to take care of yourself. So I got this. You got this. And if not, together we got this. Thank you so much. Peace out.